Okay, let's have a look at this letter. So, Mr. Dolan is 70. Okay, right. Well, check my word count first. See what we've got. And it's 199. Okay. So, if you've got his age here, you don't need to put it there, because you've kind of mentioned it twice. You can put the DOB there, but we have a name here. Now, okay, a man, well, I can see that he's a man. If he is 70, is he really still going to be working as a tile setter? Wouldn't he be retired at 70? Surely, he'd be a pensioner. Now, usually when introducing a patient, it's usually name, age, occupation. We can tell that it's a man, like a woman, from the name and title. And the age, if you put the DOB, okay, but tile setter, I would have thought at 70 he would be a pensioner, so we don't really need that. And also, is it irrelevant if he is 70, Now, who presented? Who has presented? Present perfect, indefinite time. We don't know when. So, what do you want me to do? Where's the purpose? You are writing to refer, and what is it you want me to do? So I shouldn't have to scroll down to the bottom to find out. Further assessment and hospitalization. That should be here in the opening. I'm writing, and obvious, right, and you don't need this. Of course it's a letter. And obviously you're writing to me, right? They like you to be concise. They make a virtue of brevity. So I'm writing to refer Mr. Dolan, aged 70, who needs what? Further assessment and a possible hospitalization. Or I'm writing to request your assessment of Mr. James Dolan, 70, aged 70, who has signs and symptoms of acute conjunctivitis. And we don't really need this. So it's usually the presenting complaint, the main issue, the purpose, right? That should be in your introduction. What do you want the reader to do? So he's come to the hospital on several occasions. And what's that got to do with anything? So I wouldn't put that in the opening. You need the purpose and the main issue or main complaint. Now, Mr. Dolan, you don't have to use his full name every time. Mr. Dolan came to the hospital or simply presented. No, he came to the hospital, so presented himself to the hospital. Presented, and we know it's in the hospital because that's where you are. We can see from the address and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. Again, they make a virtue of brevity, concise information. So, on the 12th of the 5th, Mr. Dolan presented, feeling agitated, and now, what was the main complaint here? Would you really come to the hospital and say, oh, I feel agitated? Well, no. You would come with a left eye. So his left eye had been red for the last 2 days, which made him feel agitated, or he was agitated as well. But that's not the main issue. He's not going to come to hospital and saying, I'm so agitated. Oh, and by the way, I've got something wrong with my eye. That's not going to happen, is it? So, presented with a 2-day history of left eye reddened, was reddened, had reddened, 2 day history of a reddened left eye. So his eye was red, presumably, and swollen. Right, at that time, well, at what other time? So, you can simply join these two, for which, oops, don't need that comma, sorry, don't need that full stop, let me get rid of that full stop. For which eye drop, Tobrex, or Tobrex, well, we will probably know that it's an eye drop. For which Tobrex, not 100%, was indicated. Indicated, that just means what a sign, you mean was prescribed, commenced. Was commenced. So, for which Tobrex, not 50%, was commenced to treat possible conjunctivitis. However, 2 days after the event, after what event, or 2 days later, or simply after 2 days. However, after 2 days, he came back with similar symptoms that spread to the right eye. Now, he also felt fever the day before. What, the day before he came? So 2 days later, he came back and he felt fever. So he had also felt fever the day before and took the physical examination showed swelling and pain in both eyes. Well, there's no additionally, because this is something else. This is something new. So the examination showed, laboratory tests were done, and an elevated WBC count was found. The antibiotic was commenced to be taken for 5 days. Despite all the measures that had been taken, Mr. Dolan's condition did not improve. So when did it not improve? So he presented presumably on the 15th, yeah? So I would put the date first. On the 15th, 5th, was it 2019? 2009. Mr. Dolan returned. Complaining so on 15th, 2019, Mr. Dolan returned as his condition had not improved. So, we don't need this despite all the measures that had been taken. So, on the 15th of 5th, 2019, Mr. Dolan returned as his condition had not improved. Physical examination showed increased swelling with dramatic swollen eyelids, periorbital tissue, difficult opening the eyes, watery discharge, and worsening pain. Okay. Now, it would be really appreciated. Why would it be really appreciated? Where's my mouse gone? Where is it? Yes, okay. It would be really appreciated. Well, you can simply say, I would be grateful, or I would. I would appreciate it. Appreciate if you could evaluate Mr. Dolan. You don't have to give his full name again. We kind of know it. I would appreciate it if you could evaluate Mr. Dolan for further assessment and hospitalisation. Any queries, please do not hesitate to contact me. Okay, so we could do it like that. It's a little clearer, a little better. So we don't really need this, don't need that. Simply do it like that, nice and simple. Return, condition not improved, examination showed, blah, 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 blah. Now, usually when you have a visit, now I don't have a case notes for this, and as I've said on several occasions, if your letter is a good one, I shouldn't need any notes. Everything that I need, or that the reader needs, should be contained in this particular document. So, writing to refer Mr. Dolan, okay, sign the symptoms, alright. Mr. Dolan presented, blah, 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 blah. Now, usually for a visit, it's what the patient came with and said, what you found, what you did. So the patient came, that's what you found, but you haven't said what you did. Now, again, I don't have any case notes here, but I would be curious as the reader, what did you do? Did you not do anything? So the patient came, oh, doctor, you took a look, things were worse. Did you do anything? So I would expect something there. But again, I don't have the case notes, so I can't really comment. So I would do it like that. Okay? So there's some stuff here that we don't need. You know, as I said, you could have wrote that a little bit. I'm writing to request your further assessment and advice on possible hospitalization. Mr. Dolan, aged 70, whose signs and symptoms suggest acute conjunctivitis. So you can do it like that. Okay? Right. Hope that helps.